Welcome everyone to our special session. It's all about helping you to spot the next big consumer trend. I'm Roy from the Similarweb product marketing team, working with the web intelligence team, and I'm excited to be joined by Liana. Liana, maybe you can share a quick introduction.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much, Roy. Hi, everyone. We're all very, very excited to have you on board today. I'm Liana. I'm a principal customer success manager here at Similarweb. It's over 4 years that I've spent in our wonderful company, and it's lovely to have you all. So looking forward to sharing some hopefully valuable insights to you all.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Liana. So we have a packed agenda and a really interesting topic to cover today. We will mainly focus on how to use demand analysis tool to find your next big or niche trend, how to compare trends by size and growth for real business insights, and how to best use demand analysis to boost your market research and competitive analysis that you already do with Similarweb. So as we go through the session, please feel free to drop questions in the chat. We will answer them as we go, and we also have dedicated time to answer all of them in our Q&A towards the end. In a few minutes, we will also have a live demo. So I really encourage you to open up the Similarweb platform and get ready to try yourself some of the practices that we will demonstrate to you. So let's start with the why. It's always a good starting point of why we want to cover today's topic about covering consumer trends and why it's so important. So it's not about chasing every fad or any hype that you hear about in the market. It's more about recognizing that consumer and customer needs and behaviors are always shifting, and we always need to be on top of them. If you want to grow and deliver the right offering, you've got to know what matters most to your audience. So your offering and product serves the needs. It's something that you always need to make sure are relevant and on top of their trends. But before we dive into more details, I would love to ask you a quick questions. I know it's not an easy task to track consumer trends. So if you would have to say what is the biggest challenge that you face today, is it not having enough time, limited access to data, it's a lower priority from our organization, or maybe there's not a clear owner or responsible team in my organization? Please spend the next few seconds to answer the poll. All right,
Interesting to
really
see those
interesting.
results come in. Yeah.
So hopefully you can see the results now on the screen. Almost 50% of you said that limited access to data is the #1 challenge for discovering trends. So good news, you came to the right place. We will definitely focus on how you can leverage our data to make sure you can cover trends. Liana, anything that got you surprised there by the results?
Yeah, well, there was a tough competition between not having enough time and having limited access to data. So to that first point of not having enough time, please talk to your Similarweb team, your customer success, your account managers, on how you can automate your workflows more and more. We won't be touching that specifically today, but we have a lot of possibilities there.
Amazing. Thank you, Liana. So yes, as you already answered that, it's very obvious that spotting trends is easier said than done, right? This is exactly why we wanted to have this discussion and session with you today. Because the reality is that turning consumer trends into action and into strategy is quite challenging. We all know about shrinking budgets and the expectation to deliver higher ROI on a daily basis, which means that the pressure gets you to work. You have to work smarter and faster, prioritize more roughly, make smarter business decisions based on this data, and of course, spot trends before the competition will do before you. And it's not enough that it's not difficult enough that you have this internal pressure, but as we all know, with trends evolving so quickly, from new competitors entering your market, new technology that appears suddenly, and other shifting in preferences of customers, whether that being healthier or adopting new ways to manage their daily life, it's more challenging than ever to track what customers really care about. And it doesn't matter if you come from the world of CPG or agencies or financial services, we all face those difficulties to track ever-evolving challenges. But as you said, like 50% of you pointed that the number one challenge is actually around having the right data in place. It's a huge challenge we all aware of, and this is our top of mind for you for this session. Because there's a big challenge where it's not only not having the data, it's about not knowing what you're not seeing or what data sources you're not even using in your daily activities to untap these consumer trends. So a very good example comes from the Second World War. The Allies, they did a study around returning planes full of bullet holes and thought, let's reinforce those spots. But there was one researcher, Abraham Wald, who actually thought about it from a different point of view. He said, what about the planes that didn't come back at all, right? Maybe they got hit elsewhere. So that insight completely changed the mindset and the point of view of how we think about missing data, or like how granular or superficial the data that we use. Because we may lack important data to make a conclusion, and we also might be missing deeper levels of data. So the same goes for trends. Some tools only show the surface. And our main recommendation today will be to go deeper in your analysis to see the full picture. And it's not just a nice to have exercise. Missing key data can seriously hurt your business and the growth. Just think about what would happen for your business if it would miss a key point in time, such as the iPhone moment, especially if your competitor managed to identify that trend before you did. That's a risk of not having granular, accurate data, and it has serious implications for the business. With Similarweb demand analysis tool, you can confidently answer questions that you couldn't answer before. For example, what's the next emerging trend that you really need to untap? What's the market size and what is the worth of investing in that trend? What new offerings or product, regardless of the industry that you come from, that you should launch in order to untap and answer that consumer trend? And how do you do that? What's the right GTM strategy? What's the right marketing communication? How do you optimize your content and keywords to support that launch? And how can you better forecast seasonality, right? Trends don't behave the same through the year. You need to understand how consumers change their behavior and consumption throughout different seasons. So now it's finally time to see it in action. Before we will move to Liana to see it in action, demand analysis can really help you to understand the trends, size, and growth. We will see how you can compare different trends to each other to assess different alternatives. Again, seasonality is a key, so you can see how the trend changes throughout the year, and you could also see how we can break it out by country. But Liana, one last question before we hand over to you. There's another question for the audience that we would love to hear your thoughts. Who is responsible for identifying emergent trends in your organization? You can see the poll on your screen. Is it the strategy team, insights team, innovation, marketing, or someone else? Obviously, we have different sizes and different industries, so the answer might be different. We'll just give it a few more seconds. All right, looks like strategy and insights team are the number one choice for covering consumer trends. Liana, any thoughts, any surprises there?
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. There's a lot of teams that go into identifying trends and making strategic business decisions based on those. So I'm happy to see that a lot of our customers work across those teams that we've also got to know when it comes to identifying trends and leveraging them properly.
Amazing.
Perfect. Thank you so much for the engagement, and thank you, Roy, for the perfect introduction. Welcome to Demand Analysis, the go-to tool for identifying consumer trends and behavior as they happen using real-life consumer data. So If by now you haven't logged into the platform yet, please do that now and follow me along so that you'll find some insights for your business already during the session. You'll find demand analysis right under market research. It's a brand new tool that we've been developing for a while now, and it's coming now to its full fruition, and we're so happy to show you that. In case you don't see it on your end, please contact your account manager for further details. So what are we going to go through today? The main KPI, essentially consumer demand, is the monthly search volume for a keyword or a group of keywords. What we've done here is that we've added our brand new keyword data set spanning across the last 2 years of search volume, really allowing you to understand what is happening right now, but also how are those trends evolving over time. How does it work? You have a few ways to go about it. So firstly, of course, the choice of the market, the country. But then in terms of trend identification, you can first plug in any search term, any keyword of your choice. Let's say that you have a certain product, brand, topic in mind that you want to see those trends for. So you can simply plug them in here. Second, you can use any of the existing keyword lists that you've created. If you haven't done them by now, I highly encourage you to really personalize those keyword lists to your industry and to your business. And lastly, you can use the topic section. So this is a unique capability to demand analysis. You can see that it's available in the US. And just to point out, even if you're not actively present in the US market, you can still use this data as a proxy. We all know that trends tend to come from the US, so we'd love for you to use that data as well. And I'm going to start by introducing the topic section. You can explore all of the topics here. And essentially what we've done is that we've simply done the work for you. So we've taken a lot of topics, we've categorized them into these major categories and their subcategories, and that's basically how this tool works. And for today's exercise, just to give a kind of a quick recap of what is setting the tone for today, we wanted to focus on a really core client that we often work with. I manage our CPG, beauty, and pharma companies, and excuse me. And they tend to be present at the largest, beauty retailers across the different markets. So I was just curious to see what kind of insights we could draw from the beauty and beauty industry globally. So that will kind of set the tone for today. But essentially, starting from the topics, let's say that we care about that beauty and personal care category, going into let's say the skincare subcategory. So we're starting to see now the data that you can access via demand analysis. And often, well, we work with a lot of personas, but a core persona that uses Similarweb tends to be someone who cares both about e-com and marketing. So that's kind of the persona that I had in mind for today. Someone who wants to know both about product trends, and making sure that their product portfolio, their brand portfolio is well represented on their website, but also at the same time cares about marketing, how to essentially leverage these trends in the marketing strategy across search, across SEO and PPC, what kind of keywords they should be pushing for, what kind of content they should be creating. And you can see how demand analysis, in a minute, you'll be able to see how it can contribute to these different types of personas and different use cases. So what can we see here? First of all, I'll start with the last 12 months, but you already got to see that there's a lot of flexibility in terms of time frame. But if we start with the last 12 months, this is essentially showing us what is the reach and the volume of the skincare category in the US. So in the past 12 months, the TAM, the total addressable market, was over 200 million searches. That is a huge category. However, it is declining. So you will see here the periodical change of this category, comparing the first and the last month of the period. Now, we often want to have context. We want to understand if this is something that has changed most recently, if this is maybe something seasonal. So first of all, I would encourage you to toggle that year-on-year analysis in to get that additional context. And we can see here that this category has decreased even in the long run, spanning across the last 2 years. So now at this point, if we're talking to an e-commerce marketing manager, we might be interested in knowing, well, did this consumer demand go into some other subcategories within the beauty and skincare? So this is something that we can look at via topics, of course, but also to inform potentially any of the purchasing decision departments, any strategy departments that are really making decisions of where we go next and where we need to be present. So in addition to the year-on-year analysis, know that you can access also the last 25 months of historical data. This is a unique value proposition to this tool. It is the only place on the platform where you can access the last 25 months, really seeing how those trends come across. And in this case, we've come to the conclusion that the recent drop in the skincare category is really something historic in the past year and something that everyone that has to do with this category should take seriously. Next, we want to go a bit deeper. We want to understand what this skincare category is actually all about. So what we've done in this topic section is that we're trying to show you what are some of those niche trends that you can identify within this larger skincare category. So we've taken, given that all of this data is based on keywords and search volume, we've taken the most prominent keywords and clustered them into these categories for you so that you can easily define if there are any sub-trends that are emerging. You can also choose to look at the individual keywords instead of the cluster, so feel free to do that. But I do feel that there's a lot of value into the work that we've done in the clustering. And the last view here is that whether it is the clusters or individual keywords that you're looking at, you can essentially see all of those mini categories and trends, part of the skincare universe that are trending. You can see just how many keywords are part of each of every one of them. What is that TAM, and what is the most recent change, and essentially spot those trends. So this was the first part, leveraging that topic section. I will come back to the homepage, and first of all, I see a lot of questions. So thank you for the engagement. I want to show you also a different kind of flow. So we just spoke about having a specific trend in mind that you can plug here, or using those topics in the US as a proxy. But often our customers come to us saying, listen, we just want to know what is trending within our industry. We don't really know what we're looking for. We just want to know what is happening and see if there's any potential for us. Essentially saying, you don't know what you don't know. And for that, I'm going to introduce an additional starting point to the demand analysis, a feature that is called demand trends that you can find under market analysis. So they're very close to each other. And given that I'm still interested in that beauty and cosmetics industry, I have a specific analysis that I was interested in for the UK market. So nice to also switch things around. But essentially, what this allows me to see are the most recent trends within a given industry. You can toggle between all of the Similarweb predefined industries to find the one that is relevant to your business. And essentially see what are those most recent trends. There's quite a lot of data in the section, but what we really care about right now is be inspired of a recent trend that we want to look into further, again, with demand analysis, to have that history, to have the seasonality, to start building our content strategy around that, and so on. So the main thing that I care about right now is spotting a keyword, a product category, brand that has both a nice amount of traffic that is showing some nice growth recently, and if there's anything really like specific, major that stands out, that will usually draw my attention. So there are a couple of options here. Liquid brune is one of them, but my eyes really went to this number 9 keyword, Turtle Foundation, number 9 on this list in the past month. And look at this trend. During the past year, we've had continuous searches for these. So UK consumers have been searching for this keyword. However, in February last month, it completely exploded. So I want to know now, as a potential e-com marketing manager at a big beauty retailer in the UK, or even a brand, I want to know if this is a trend that I should be focusing on further. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to demand analysis, having this keyword in mind, and plug it in here. So I can already see it coming up. And let's just expand that to the last 12 months. All right. We can see that total demand, right, that we already saw in the beginning, only now coupled with a huge growth, almost 4,000% increase in demand in the UK in the past 12 months. We can again explore that year-on-year growth and get that additional view of the huge growth of this trend. In addition to that, when you're in this view of analyzing either an individual keyword or a keyword list, we start to have additional data points here. One of them being the top countries by search volume. So this allows you to understand, first of all, the global potential and reach of any trend. And in case you are globally present, this is obviously gold to you because it allows you to understand where you should be present and where you should be doubling down on your marketing and e-com efforts. So for Turtle Foundation, I did some quick research. It happens to be a foundation established in Korea. However, it is widely trending in the United States, though a bit decreasing, growing very rapidly in the UK, as we saw, and it is being established for the first time in India. We don't have a change here because it's a brand new trend in India, and seeing that growth across all of the core countries here. So definitely a prominent trend. Now, in addition to the keyword trends that we also saw in the topic section, when we are in this phase of identifying a brand new brand and kind of trying to understand its potential, I would definitely look at this last section of all of the keywords that are being related to this core keyword that we added, because it allows you to understand the demand further, how mature it is. By that, I mean what kind of long tails have been looked for around that keyword. And in this case, we can see a lot of specific searches. Like, this is a new trend, but UK consumers are already looking for this product in a certain weight, in various shades, Amazon specifically. So allowing you to define both the demand and the potential and start building your content strategy. If you're a retailer and you're considering having this product in your offering, it can help you create that communication strategy around this product. So a lot of different ways to utilize this data. Now, what you can also do from here is start creating a keyword list. We talked about that in the beginning. I highly encourage you to do that, essentially creating a universe around this product. Why is that important? Because as a next step and kind of a final step of looking into this trend, we want to have a bit more context into its performance by comparing its demand and its reach to other similar categories. So we now know that we're looking at an individual beauty product from Korea, but knowing from my experience, Korean skincare beauty is a trend everywhere. So I want to see how does this product stack up against the entire Korean skincare category. So the additional element that you can, the additional analysis that you can do with demand analysis is essentially comparing keyword groups one next to the other. after creating those keyword lists. So what I've now done based on the previous view, I took those top Turtle Foundation keywords. I've already created a Korean beauty keyword list, and still staying in the UK in the last 12 months, we're doing that apples to apples comparison on the demand and on the potential of these categories. And what we can see here is that while the Korean beauty general category is stronger, is bigger in terms of reach in the past year, it is fading. And look at the data in February. For the first time in the past year, Turtle Foundation, one singular product within the Korean beauty category, surpassed the demand of that entire category. So I hope this shows you the potential of identifying the reach, identifying the potential of these trends, and making smarter business decisions. And the last thing that I would like to show here in demand analysis, when you are in this compare mode of various keyword groups, of which you can add up to 5 at the same time, we've also added this nice visualization allowing you to understand very quickly how are these different keyword groups stacking up against each other, seeing here very easily that Turtle Foundation is in that growing sector, while Korean beauty is fading. Now, the very, very last, anything from you, Roy?
No, this is brilliant. Yeah, I love the engagement and all the questions. We will move to the Q&A part in just 1 minute. Yeah, anything last from you, Liana?
Yeah, so knowing that we work with a lot of marketing people, and I know that a lot of you here are present today, the last step that I want to show you is after we've understood the market size of this trend, we're obviously concerned also about the competition. To do that, I'm going to another part on the platform called keyword research, and one specific tool that is very, very powerful called SERP players. I'm using that keyword list around Turtle Foundation, looking at last month's data in the UK. Now, what we can see here is that for this trend that is rapidly changing, we can also notice that the competition is rapidly changing. So just in the last month, the competitive landscape has changed completely. If still in January, mid-end January, beginning of February, it was SkinCubit UK that was the leader. Now we have more players. We have YesStyle, we have Boots, we have Amazon that is coming into this competition. So all of the leading retailers that are fighting for the traffic on this product definitely need this data to understand where they stand and what's their market share per product, per category. And lastly, in terms of refining your marketing strategy, we've also given you the tools to understand how your competitors are accessing this product and what their strategy looks like in terms of search. So you're able to see here how much traffic they're getting from these keywords, what is that change, and very importantly, are they prioritizing SEO or PPC? So obviously you can be inspired from your competitors and refine your marketing strategy based on that.
Thank you, Liana. That was absolutely amazing. So much to observe and to learn from. I'll just quickly share my screen. Second. Perfect. Yeah, so again, there's a lot to observe and to digest here. So I just want to quickly recap some of the points that Liana mentioned, and we will move to the Q&A in just a couple of minutes. So in terms of the business potential here, like we learned a lot about how to use the product, but it's really important to emphasize that with demand analysis, you can really now spot new growth opportunities, as Liana demonstrated very, very clearly. You can also measure the size and the growth of every trend. There was one question in the chat about the economic and commercial aspects. So for example, it's not enough to be aware that more people reduce alcohol consumption or started a keto diet. You can finally put a number and really quantify that trend so you can really understand the commercial impact and opportunity. Then with that insight in hand, you can prioritize what to offer based on that trend that you have already identified, whether that's launching a new product, repackaging, offering a new offering, or just optimizing your already available product and content. And as again, as trends evolve and they do evolve, keep refining your message and your messaging, your product market fit before your competitors will do that quickly. So always stay ahead of the competition with those trends in mind. And Liana demonstrated all the great stuff that demand analysis now offers. So just to recap, the key highlights. First of all, on the homepage, now you have a few options to how to start and understand what trend you really want to analyze. So first, you can search for any trend. You can use any search term or get inspired by emerging trend in your category. As you've seen, this is optimized and personalized based on your industry, but you can also go to the homepage and change that so you will get different recommendations. Or you can just easily pick the curated topics that Liana demonstrated. It is a very nice and intuitive experience to discover new opportunities and new growth and new trends. Once you found the topic or a trend, go to and understand the growth and the size, so you know if it's worth your attention and your investment. Then, as Liana showed at the end of the demo, you can compare multiple trends side by side. So it's really easy to understand the broader view, and it really helps you to prioritize between competing direction or strategies that you are contemplating. You can also break down the trend into specific keywords to understand what's driving it. So in other words, move from the bigger trend into like niche micro trend to really understand what's driving the bigger picture. Sometimes the hidden gems and the opportunities are within those hidden and smaller niche trends. And since many of you are working on global markets, different regions, you can also analyze the trend by country. So you can see the overall trend, but also see how different countries behave and see different trends for that growth. And finally, again, as Liana mentioned, there's a lot to exploit in demand analysis, but our ideal flow based on conversations and see the impact that it has on customer is that you shouldn't finish the research and the analysis with demand analysis. There's so much more to untap with Similarweb. So the last image that Liana shared, the SERP page, in the search intelligence model, that's a very powerful next step to really understand who's owning the conversation of the trend and what users are doing after the initial search. So where they're ending up landing after they search for something. And from there, obviously, you can go to the market analysis to really, after you understood who are you against, who are your main competitors, you can simply build and curate your own industry and your own analysis to make sure you keep track of the shifts in the market share of that industry that you're really interested in. And finally, we've seen the demand trends. There's many new ways to uncover new growth opportunities and new keywords. So in other words, the research and being on top of trend is not a one and done exercise. We always need to go back, revisit our thinking and find new growth opportunities. So we shared a lot about demand analysis. We really recommend scanning this QR code to really read more about it, read some real life example in addition to what Liana shared. And as you know, in the Knowledge Center of Similarweb, you can find more and more insights and questions to your answers.